I think the format should be that we ask questions, sometimes to individuals, and sometimes to all of them, a common question, and we try to interact and get a feedback. I will be questioning and the audience will also be questioning. Is that fair enough?
Yes.
Yeah? Somebody said that one of the biggest injustices that can happen in the world, is the equal treatment of unequals. How many of you agree on that? The equal treatment of unequals, बड़ा जुल्म है साहब. पढ़ा लिखा भी एक, अनपढ़ भी एक. कैसा है उसको? You give them the same rights, is it? Equal treatment of unequals is a जुल्म, किसी ने कहा. मैं चाहता हूं कि तीनों पार्टी वाले इस पर बात करें कि why should we treat unequals? Unequals बोले तो क्या? What are unequals? Minority people, uneducated people, handicapped people, painful people. Why should we give them rights of food, water, equality and treat them equally? What is it that compels us to treat unequals as equal as human beings? What is it? And to either justify or speak against it. And in very short few words, I would invite
Hello. Yeah, I think it's a very good question, and I think it is unjust to treat unequals as equals. That is a fair point to make. But I think that is only half of the statement. This is what has been happening. People who don't minorities in the country, Dalits and various other communities, the poor people and so on. We've done a few things for these communities. But there is a trap that we get into that political parties, at least the major political parties, have been playing with various communities, and I think all of us pretty much understand that. Right? It helps to keep the inequality maintained, so that I can continue to gain from it. Right? So that is absolutely unacceptable for Aam Aadmi Party, and I'm assuming for many of us. The goal has to be to create equality. Traditionally in our country, we have had a few unjust practices due to which there is inequality. We have to address it. We need schemes, mechanisms, reservations, whatever it is. But the goal of each of those should be to ensure that there is equality at the end of it, and not to just give some, keep some, and to continue to to use that inequality and use that as a vote bank for self-benefit.
Thanks, Mr. Janakiraman. That was a very nice answer. I'd like to ask Mr. Safet the same question in a slightly different way, sir. The same question, actually. How do you justify, if your party really stands for equality, how do you justify a fellow getting 99% in PUC not getting MBBS, probably, hypothetically, and a fellow who's getting 80% getting a good seat? How do you justify that in front of people? Is that fair?
Yeah, it's fair. I will tell you how it's fair. Yeah. See, you speaking in English is not a big deal. Maybe your mother would be speaking in English, and my servant, whose son speaks in English, is a big deal. For you, the selection criterion should be more than 90, and for my servant and for her son, the selection criterion should be 80. Because in the society there is already inequality. You are starting 100 meters ahead of me, I am starting 200 meters behind you. So how can you bring justice? I am 5 feet height and you are 7 feet height. You are drawing a line and you are telling equality. That is not equality. Put him 2 feet above and ask him to see there. Then that is equality. I think with this example, both would have understood.
Because it's a lovely example actually, but it's not so simple. Look, now you think speaking English is 100 meters ahead, or having a father who is a doctor or an engineer is 100 meters ahead, and somebody who doesn't speak English, Kannada speaking is 100 meters behind. I mean, you know, for example, just as an example. So the same thing I'll say, मैं तो Brahmin हूँ, I am 100 feet ahead. Okay, and ये दलित है वो पीछे है ना? अब एक दलित है जो अच्छा खा पी के अच्छा एजुकेटेड IAS ऑफिसर, उसका बच्चा भी दलित है ना? और एक ब्राह्मण बेचारा गरीब है, अब उसको क्या करोगे आप?
आपका सवाल बहुत अच्छा सवाल है कि आज का हिंदुस्तान का प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम है ये। मैं प्रैक्टिकल जवाब से उसका आंसर देता हूँ। मैं जब सिंगापुर में जॉब कर लेकर था, मेरे साथ रहने वाले कोलीग्स सब दलित है, उनके पिताजी सऊदी अराबिको में इंजीनियर है, और ये दलित रहकर अन्ना यूनिवर्सिटी में इंजीनियरिंग करके इधर आके मेरे साथ जॉब कर लेकर है। तो मैं यही सवाल उनको किया, आपके पिताजी को जो रिजर्वेशन मिला वो सही था, बट आपको जो रिजर्वेशन मिला ये सही नहीं है, ठीक है? तो ये प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम है हमारे देश में। वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स के वजह से हम इसको सॉल्व कर नहीं पा रहे हैं, मगर इसको सॉल्व करना एक विजन है हमारा, इसको सॉल्व हम करना ही है।
आप उसको अनफेयर समझते हैं? आप उसको अनफेयर समझते हैं?
ये अनफेयर है, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है, क्योंकि एक ब्राह्मण का बच्चा जो उसका पिता एक कोई ऑफिस में क्लर्क है, और भाई नेचर उसको मिलना ही है, स्वाभाविक बात है उसको मिलना है, सिर्फ वो ब्राह्मण का बच्चा रहने के वजह से उसको नहीं मिलता है, ये गलत है, नाइंसाफी है। और इंसाफ एस्टैब्लिश करने के लिए ऐसा सिस्टम हम प्लेस में लाए कि जो प्रॉब्लम में है उसको उसका
Thank you.
रिजल्ट मिले।
Mr. Jamkiram would like to add a few points.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a small comment to that question. And I think the way to solve that is to combine two different factors. One is social inequality, social status, and the other is economic status. When you put both the factors together, then it's very clear that if a person has, जैसे आपने कहा कि उनके पिताजी को रिजर्वेशन मिला और उनसे उसके कारण उनको बेनिफिट हुआ, that is very good. But now that his economic status is he has a reasonably good economic status, then he no longer needs that reservation. Then there is equality. That equality has been established, and that should be the goal of each one of us, to have measures such that the equality is reached. And once the equality is reached, then together as a country we can work forward.
Do you have any comments?
What you said is about reservation. I feel that it is unfair to allot seats to the people after they have written the exam. So the person who has got 90%, he should be given first seat. The person who has got 80%, he should be given the seat later. Now the question of social status. They are minorities, if they are poor, the government should arrange for them while they are studying. During school days, you help them, give them good school, give them tuition, give them free education. But when they write the exam, both are equal, all are equal. There should not be any disparity after somebody writes the exam.
No, they write there is no disparity. Come on. Everybody is being treated equally in the exam, same paper, same
correct. So the basis of allotment of seats should be based on merit only.
Merit only?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. So let's have 40% of that.
Yeah.
1 minute. I ask Sakit one or Mr. Dan, a very simple question. If your dad was sick, would you go to a 80% fellow doctor or a 100% fellow doctor? I'm not asking you. You gave reservation now. Now you gave a reservation to a fellow who hasn't studied well, 80%, okay man, you go. Okay. And for engineering, 35% PUC means they are giving engineering seat. Someone he pushes and passes. Medical also same thing. Now, if your dad gets sick, will you really go to that? That's not called Dalit doctor. Will you really go to that doctor who came through that reservation quota and skimmed through somehow?
जी, एक्चुअली देखो रिजर्वेशन को इस तरीके से ही कर है कि उसका जो किए हैं वो भी इंटेलेक्चुअल लोग ही है कि रिजर्वेशन के अंदर जो जाकर एग्जाम लिखने वाला जो युवा, जो लड़का है, वो भी बेसिक क्राइटेरियन के साथ ही पास करके आता है। रिजर्वेशन में आप इंजीनियरिंग जम जाओ, रिजर्वेशन में भी आप पास करके बाहर आ जाओ, ऐसा नहीं है। रिजर्वेशन में उसको इंजीनियरिंग मिलेगी, मगर रिजर्वेशन से वो पास करके नहीं आता है, एग्जाम लिखकर ही पास करके आता है। तो वो जो 80% से जो निकलता है वो भी सर्जरी कर सकता है, और जो 90% से निकलता है वो भी सर्जरी कर सकता है। ऐसा कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। और यहां तक प्रैक्टिकल तजुर्बा है हिंदुस्तान में कि जो 80% से निकलकर है वो 95% से अच्छी सर्जरी कर है। तो ऐसा कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। सिर्फ हम आज जो मेजर प्रॉब्लम्स है उसको एड्रेस करने के लिए ऐसे सोल्यूशन पे जाएंगे।
Any questions from the audience?
I want to add to that. I think honestly, I'll honestly accept that I would most likely go to the doctor who had 90%. But what I think we should also understand is that the guy who had 80%, I'm pretty confident that his son, his daughter would get 90%, and then all of us would be going to that doctor. Right? That is the thing that we are doing.
Yes. Yeah.